Hi, I'm DENAE, and in front of me is one of the world's most hated cameras. Andrew's given me another surprise camera. I have no idea what it is, and I want to find out why it's one of the world's most hated cameras. So it's a Pentax, a little point and shoot pocket camera. Convenient and intuitive controls for easy operation. We'll see about that. So it looks like it's a Pentax Option E10. Has 6 megapixels, 3 times optical zoom. Looks like it takes some batteries. Cute little point and shoot. Bright and easy to read LCD. And it's got a little bit of memory. Instruction manual. Big box for a little guy. This is tiny. Oh my gosh. Really? This is so tiny and cute. It feels so light. It's like a toy camera. Wow. I think this is a kid's camera. I really do. Okay, let's see. Let's put some look, half the camera is batteries. I'm not having a lot of faith in this thing. It's so tiny. Okay, let's see, the little on button is right there in the middle of our little turning thing. This is a little bit dirty and gross. Can I take this off? It's kind of gross. Well, I can't tell if it's off or on. Oh, it's still on. Built-in memory is full. This has some like pictures from somebody else on it.
See if they're any good.
Oh, scary. And they're all blurry. It's not focusing. It had 3 pictures somebody else took, and they were not very good pictures. The quality, I can't even it won't even focus. The first copy of this camera that we got did not work, so we're on copy number 2. We're gonna try to get some decent shots with one of the world's worst cameras. The first thing we need to do is upgrade it with the one and only DENAE and Andrew camera strap. You can get yours in the description below.
What can you say about this 2006 6.4 megapixel digital point and shoot other than why would anyone be shooting with this in 2020? It only shoots JPEG, there's no manual mode. The best we could do is P mode and make use of its somewhat limited exposure compensation adjustment. It has a 35 to 102 millimeter zoom in 35mm terms. It can shoot very close when switched to macro mode. It takes 2 AA batteries and it's light as a feather.
I think about the only nice thing about it is how small it is.
I keep thinking it's going to be touch focus. Oh, you can change the focus point?
Oh, you can?
Wait. Well, it says that you can, but the same button that's labeled as a play is labeled as a focus point selector. So, I don't know. Cactus.
Oh, cactus, get this. Dang it. Oh, it's in there. Shoot, we're running out of time. Look at those. My shoes might be ruined. Ow, something's sticking through the shoe. Dang it. Ow, ow, I can't walk.
All right, well, DENAE is injured and is out of the action. She stepped on that cactus she stepped on. Oh, look, she's trying to hobble her way back into the game.
Let me film you.
Are you?
Smaller rock.
Did you get them all out of your foot?
No. Oh, maybe my foot, but not my shoes. I think my shoes are lost cause.
Uh-oh.
Here, let me film you.
So there's actually quite a few reasons why this is one of the most hated cameras in the world. Not the least of which is that it's so slow. It takes maybe 4 or 5 seconds to get a shot off with this camera. I think if it were just that though, if it were just one or two things, it wouldn't be considered one of the most hated cameras of all time. But it's more than that, and partly it's because of the marketing. This was marketed as it was going to be one of the greatest tiny, this is so small, pocketable point and shoot cameras made by a reputable camera manufacturer, Pentax. And they marketed the heck out of it, but it just has too many problems. So it focuses slow. Other problems that it has, it chews through batteries like crazy. People would complain that they would spend as much on batteries as they did on the camera within not very long of owning it. In addition to that, as DENAE was able to demonstrate, they fall apart. They are not reliable. So who knows how long this will last, but if the reviews are to be believed, then not very long. We don't have very long with this camera before it's dead. And in the meantime, the last and unpardonable sin is the image quality is not good.
And as real-world consumer reviews of this camera reflect, one of the first and biggest noticeable image quality issues with this camera is the absolute horrible state of its auto white balance, which is inconsistent and unreliable, as demonstrated by these two shots taken moments apart with a similar focus point. This camera was so confused by our desert tones apparently that the only solution for these shots is to convert them to black and white. But even when the white balance seemed to come out okay, the color and tonal rendering can only be described as stark and contains none of the magic we see in some early CCD sensors. It shouldn't come as much of a surprise that a 6 megapixel camera of this vintage would struggle with dynamic range, though we did have slightly higher expectations. As it stands, in high dynamic range situations, exposing for the highlights still creates noisy midtones, and attempting to recover the shadows creates a festival of colors. With a camera like this, better to expose for your subject and say la vie to those highlights because you won't be seeing those again. Either way, you'll still be seeing a high degree of noise even at ISO 100. Finally, we come to the often complained about blurry photo issue, and yes, this is a problem on this camera. There were plenty of times it simply missed focus entirely, but sometimes it was just soft because in P mode, it would select too slow a shutter speed even when there was room to spare with ISO. But shooting in macro mode, it seemed to do okay.
So that is why this is one of the most hated cameras ever in the history of cameras.
So when is this the right camera? Well, it's when you need a featherlight, pocketable camera when you'll only be rendering in black and white, and if for some reason you don't own a smartphone, or if you're just a little like us and enjoy giving yourself creative constraints and just crazy enough to shoot with any one of the world's most hated cameras. If you enjoyed this episode, let us know what camera you hate and why we should shoot with it.
I need shoes, apparently.
And until then, remember to do some good, even with cameras you hate, and we'll talk to you again real soon.
Let's go.